Hi everyone, today we're going to do a reading on, well, we know a few days ago, I think now, there was an attempted A on the ex-president Duck. And when I first got the thumbnails of the breaking news, I just opened YouTube and it came out. I put something on my YouTube, but yeah, I didn't feel into it, but I wasn't sure if this was the second attempt that I really felt that, would be the second attempt, because I felt the person's energy was distant. And I hope I explained, I didn't mean in necessarily yards, miles, whatever. It wasn't going to go through. The person wouldn't have gone through. It wasn't. It also wasn't the meant to be time. I felt the person's energy was, distant. I felt they were a bit of a loony. I did feel a bit of anger there, but I felt someone who thought they were fighting. This is where things get dangerous with people. Thought they were fighting for humanity and the love, okay, for a cause. But you don't do that by trying to take someone else out. 3 days ago, I posted it. And what did I write? I didn't know where it was. I presumed it was a rally, but actually he was playing golf. Because I actually suggested surely he has like a tighter setup when he's rallying. And even when I think of the golf, surely you should have had people circulating, walking around there. So when I said distant, I also don't know if he actually fired anything. I just felt like he was gonna, even if he had the standing opportunity, he was gonna chicken out unless there was someone in his ear saying, this is for, well, now I know he's a strong supporter of the you country. This is for you. This is for humanity. Like someone egging him on. Like I felt like he was, I didn't know about you, but I knew there was he needed to be kept going, like someone in his ear. I felt like he was much more of a persona, a loose cannon, and also I felt like if they look into his background, he's probably going to be someone who's doing a bit shady things with a persona as opposed to carrying it out. So what I said when the subscriber responded, I was like, oh, great, because she said they're saying the suspect is in custody now. And I said, we'll have to see what they say. For some reason, I don't feel the person had the balls to aim or the goal to actually do the A. It's like their reasons are like show, fame, or something. Grown adult they will be, but weird reason vibes. They act as if, like, the more talk, less action kind of people, a bit of a loose cannon, maybe history background wise, if they look into things, don't just mean like depression and mental health, may even be anger, politics, army sort of stuff, a weird persona. So I'll be interested to see what comes out. And I must say that obviously things have come out, and I presume a lot of readers have jumped on it, and probably some readers have said, I predicted this. But like I'm saying, I am doing this for several reasons. I hope whether you're from the US and you're a red or blue supporter, you're tuning in. There's some important messages here. And one of the first things I want to start off with saying, and hopefully I remember at the end, is that you don't want this to happen whether you are red or blue, okay? You do not want this to happen. After the election, there's going to be more heatedness. People need to calm down a little bit. I don't mean this in a bad way, but what's going to happen is going to happen. And everyone being angry towards each other and deciding to take people out or violence is going to cause a civil war. And there is such a tension around that. Whether it's a blue or a red that tries to be taken out, okay? and I realize I have to be careful because I'm not on Patreon, right? You need to, it's not a good thing. It's going to cause more unsettledness. It's going to cause more violence towards the other party or other people and splits, etc. So you don't want to. You don't want to be saying, I don't care because I don't support this party. You actually do care. And one of the countries that I really feel is on edge about who will come out on this in this election is actually Australia. And I don't really know why. I don't know if they get impacted a lot, but it's one country that I feel are tense in terms of who's going to be the outcome here. Now, if you go back to my duck video when he was, it might have been my first political read, convicted. And I don't know what cases are there, but if you look at that, you will know who I think will make it. And you will know exactly what's going to pan out. Because also I've said that, you know, if someone does certain, let's say, crimes, it's pretty straightforward in terms of what should be done in terms of that crime. When the outcome is something totally different or a lot of twists and turns, it's kind of like, what the hell was we going on about for like maybe a year or months about this case? Forget Duck, but about this case that's in front of us, the crime, and now suddenly its outcome wasn't even something that you would have thought of. So in terms of my reads, it's always good to look back and see, why am I doing this read? Because I do think protection needs to be high, all right? When there's an attempt on one side, you can bet, look at the black smoke coming out of the candle. Can you see it? That is so weird. Can you see it? It wasn't doing that. Look how high the flame is. That is insane. The flame is actually so thin up to about here. Can't even put my finger. That is weird. Like I can see the orange flame till about here. I don't like that. Thank you. Oh no, I thought it calmed down. I'll give it a couple of minutes if it calms down. So I've lost my chain of thoughts. It will get heated, and I've mentioned prior, after election, should this party be in place, I'm giving you the prediction that January to going into April is a very tense time, and high protection is needed, very much so. Okay. If you think about it, during that time, I can't believe how high this flame and the smoke is. During this time, what on earth is happening with this candle? I can't concentrate while that's doing whatever it's doing. Okay. Like even the fume here now is not even black. That's weird. Okay, so in terms of the think about it. So if Duck is not elected, why would I feel a high energy during that time? It'd definitely be if he is elected, right? So in this read, I want to dig in because I feel like the last person that did it was going to go through and did go through with it, and this one I just, as soon as I heard of it, I knew that I mean, it's difficult for me to say I knew that it wouldn't work. But that's also why I wasn't sure that this is the second attempt that I feel is a bit dangerous. But it is definitely a second attempt to validate my reading. So let's see how Duck is feeling at this moment in time. Because if you think about it, I presume he plays golf to actually get away from stuff, to have a break from stuff, to have some time down. So he's probably thinking like, I can understand it at a rally, but at this stage. So how is he feeling at this moment in time? Yeah, not happy. That's what I was feeling. Not happy. He's not happy because it's his downtime, you know, it's his healing time. It's his time to replenish, recharge, and he is not happy about it. I don't think what is being said, he's happy about it. And yes, maybe the SS took action right away and did stop it, but at the same time, he was, I wonder if there's a paying here. And I do want to get into that energy, which is another reason why I'm doing this reading, because I think there's a recruit. He's not happy about it. It's different if it's a rally, but when it's my time to have some downtime, what's just happened should not have happened. I won't be surprised if that day he had some sort of conflict with Melania, and he decided, you know, I don't think this was on his agenda or even known, okay, but he's kind of decided to go do this golfing, because he didn't want to have a fight at home, etc., and he needed time down to really replenish and recharge. Okay. I also feel like he is suspecting, it's interesting because I know the ex-head of SS is female, but I don't think it's them. I'm gonna get into that energy. So how is he feeling now? How is he feeling? So as of now, he is keeping his thoughts under wrap. He's holding on to how he's feeling. There are a couple of choices around him. And there is a bit of a confusion about certain things that was there at the beginning, but I think he's seeing clearly something. He's seeing something that in the past was not clear to him, and now it's a lot clearer. But there's a bit of an indecision around making a choice, and that could have been to be there, right? And it seems like, I don't know if he felt some kind of fear or a sign and he's missed it and he's gone ahead with this, but there's something that was happening there and then where he might have been thinking, should I go on, and then having a feeling of I've made the wrong choice to come and feeling a bit blocked. There is something where he's feeling a bit blocked from indecision at this moment in time, and we are not sure of it, but he's holding on to how he's feeling. So I wonder if he's spoken out. I definitely think for Duck, he's probably spoken out that I'm not going to back down. I don't know if that's happened, but that's just probably what I would say. He's holding on. Now, regardless whether you like him, we like him, whether we vote for him, we don't vote for him, whether you do vote for him, given everything, and I wrote this in the post, given everything that he is probably on his shoulders, whether it's things done and is reapping the consequences and things he's not done. I mean, for attempted A's, and especially when you're trying to have your downtime, I don't think anyone should be saying that is things you've done and you're reapping seeds you've sown and karma for anyone, regardless. And it's interesting because I've noticed these things here. So I'm thinking if he's a bit confused on whether the other party has something to do with it, but he also feels like there is definitely a snake or a rat in the camp, okay? I'm also getting that, you know, JB, so we call him Joe Blogs on this channel, has caused some sort of public confusion recently, and I don't know what that is, what is. So I don't know if he said something, done something that's maybe not not necessarily serious, but it's kind of like, why would you do that? And it's something to do with the other party. Okay. So I'm going to pull 2 or 3 cards for different. In the last reading, if you remember, I did it pretty early on, and I said there was another person involved. It's interesting how we don't even hear about this other person anymore. And when it came out in the news, definitely the things that I'd said was validated. I don't think there's a second person here, but I do think there's a recruit behind it. So I want to pull like 2, 3 cards for separately, okay? So first we're going to go with the central intriguer, in what can I say? Central internal A, okay, the first group. So, and then we'll go for the federal, okay, continue the 2 initials, and then we'll go for department, houses, and the last letter, and then we'll go for SS. There is another one that I want to check on. I will let you know. Okay, so the first one, I hope I don't forget. I'm going to use the same deck. 2 cards for the C, 2 cards. Two cards for the F. Two cards for houses. I'm going to take the first 2 that came out. But that is a strength card, okay? 2 cards for the S. S. And I don't think it's this one, by the way. That's in a challenging position. Interesting, the bottom of the deck. So let me just ask something else. A lot of secrets. Okay, so here, I mean, I do think that we've got a challenge around the remember, this card turned up in his energy, right? And we've got the 5 of Wands as well. And here, that's what I'm looking at. I'm also looking at something else because psychically, I feel like um, it's just it's there must be a leak surely because um, this is this is this is definitely striking me. And then here we've got the department houses, and it's interesting. We've got actually a housing card. There's communication here. Okay, um, there's for me this could also mean, which I was getting, part two sort of organizations are working together. Here we've got the um, SS. And the reason I said that this is a bit complex, I psychically don't feel it's them, but there is something about, okay, no. So what this could be is a spirit, thank you, spirit. They was actually watching over him because they understand that his life is in jeopardy. Okay, because I wasn't sure with these cards, they can represent something, but psychically I didn't feel it. His spirit's just come through, and he's like, no, they were watching over him as opposed to being part of something that could be coming to his end. So very different change of energy, where they're suspected in the first, there was a lot going on with them in the first like there was communication. Then we have the DS. Remember I mentioned they were involved in the first one. And here it's showing me that they actually tried to recruit someone who didn't agree to it. And then they did get someone who's a bit more passionate. For me, if we look at these, I think we would need to question the F. Some communication around Department of Houses. It's not houses, think of what it would be, and then it's S at the end, right? And the DS, deep S, okay? These are and I'm mainly looking at these two, but a leak of communication here. I don't know how these actually communicate or what it is, what they would have known. I feel they knew the timing of him leaving his home, and this is come out. We're going to go on to this guy's energy. I mean, what I saw was a video of him. It must have been in U country. And his hair is half blue, half white. I mean, anyone seeing him must have been like, this is a loose cannon. And by the way, before I said it in my statement, we didn't know anything about him. Normally, if I was on it straight away, like the first one, I would have done the reading without looking into anything, but it's a bit hard after a few days. But again, I do want to urge people that none of us should be happy that this is happening for either side, because it's going to split people even more. Okay, there's a lot of twisted turns up until this election, but then there's also still the inauguration. Is that, I looked it up earlier to ask the date. Have I got the right date of the 20th? Because I feel like not a great date for either party, but it is a strong date to symbolize feminine energy or community if it's the 20th, okay? But again, you and that's why I don't feel it's the best date. But again, you know what my thoughts are on this. But this was not going to work out by any reach, and I felt it right away. There's many complications, and I do think they will try to, there will be some charges dropped, and it'd be like, okay, how comes that's happened? And it might have already started by some states. But also then in terms of trying to get Duck into J will happen, but I don't think this is going to stop the outcome. And then if he does, I want to spit it out, but it's kind of like I'm stopped. If he does, why am I being stopped from saying? Anyway, something will be trying to be taken away from him as well. Again, I feel in December, and we will do energy check-ins like we do probe. In December, I think there's going to be a big split. There's going to be dirty laundry from each side being spewed out a bit more, and more of a split in the US. Yeah, look. December is going to be a challenging time. Like there's going to be dirty laundry, but I think there does need to be, I think we could see the end of someone in December, but I don't think it's who you think it's not, I don't think it's a Duck, okay? And I don't think it's via an attempted A at this stage, but there's definitely a lot of kind of like trying to hang each other's dirty laundry out, bringing each other kind of down. There's very much a focus here of some kind of change in the energy. And I said about twisted and complications coming up. Let me just take the next one, yeah. And maybe someone needs to look after their health during coming up to December as well. Like I said, I do think if one party wins, there's going to be like an attempt. Ooh, look at, did you see how that card flew out? There's going to be like an attempt to take something away, okay? And I definitely think that between Jan and April, high protection is definitely needed, just like now until December again. So all the way through to April, but increase it by the time we get to like Jan 20, if that's the date, until March 29 is very high, going into some of April. Let's just look at how is Joe Bloggs feeling at this moment. How is he doing in terms of his health? Let's change a little bit. How is he doing? Yeah, his health is not the best at this moment in time. It's not, he is, his health is not the best at this moment in time. I do feel like he might have like his wife around him helping him, but I feel there might be also like a nurse that regularly visits or something. But his wife is around him a lot during this moment in time. Dropping the burdens of responsibility, which is interesting. sort of move forward, I'm getting. So hang on a sec, let me see if this is him or his wife. Again, I felt like when he released himself from, you know, the announcement, he had released himself from a very heavy burden that he was carrying, you know, and I don't want to go into being pushed, etc. I've already done that reading, it still stands. But, you know, despite a lot of grief of having to give this up, he is trying to still work on that and also still add his 2 cents in as the current present, okay? But he's definitely some health struggles at the moment, and he's got a couple of choices at this moment, but I think they're to do with time frame. I think they're to do with time frame. I'm getting that very strongly. I do think he's battling a bit of his ego at this moment in time, but his health is also very important. Split the deck, health being very important. And I get like, while you still have integrity and stuff, you know, he must be still very much respected. You know, you can't just, you know, especially if you're a blue supporter. Yeah, I do think he needs to be careful as we head into December. December around his health, there is still a challenge during that time. Okay, so we have to be careful there. I don't feel like I needed to check in on what's his name. This dude. I remember Ryan Wesley Ralph. Okay, but because I feel like I've kind of explained him. Geez, I feel like there's going to be so much that comes out about this guy and the story unfolding. There's probably more already out from what I've seen. Yeah, 100% he was part of a recruit. 100%. And I was getting this. I was getting that, you know, sort of like, do you know the dark web? And if you're interested in this and you're a member or a Patreon, we can discuss it in the random question kind of stuff in the lives. You know, you and I touched this on the first reading I did with the first attempted. You have these standby recruits for certain times and period. And if you remember, continue to remember the organizations where I said there is some kind of interlinked involvement. And there's one with a bit of communication. It's interesting, will this be a federal case now? And remember the one we got here, the organization. But there is definitely a recruit, and I feel like he would have been a very easy recruit given his, and I mean, if you see that sort of stuff and you recruit these people, be on standby. And I'm getting here spirit, yeah, like the way they were saying it to is exactly what he wanted to hear. Like he would be this heroine of humanity, and I think that's what I was getting in terms of fame and fortune. But I don't feel he had the guts to do that risk. I felt like he would back away on the last minute unless there's someone in his ear. And you might disbelieve me, but I felt it from the first moment the news came out. I didn't even know they caught the suspect or anything like that. And I'd not seen him. We didn't know who he was. It wasn't going to go through. This guy would not have been able to go through with it. His energy was too distant. And he would have needed someone playing him up in his ear. And I think the fame and stuff I was getting is because did they find like a recorder or a GoPro? He wanted to record it. I get that there might be someone who's a bit angry, right? Because he didn't go through with it. Someone who is a bit on the angry side and is in, um, if you think of the King of Swords, they're in kind of the kind of organizations we've discussed, okay? But I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist. I'm not that type. When I say that, Spirit is like, look at the card closely. And I felt like this card looked like Lego. For some reason, it didn't look like a scenery like I normally see it. It looked like very sharp edges of the background, as if it wasn't a scenery, as if it was like pieces of the puzzles can be put together, but they're quite distant at the moment. Split the deck, there's secrets involved. And Spirit is saying, remember what number this is, which is number 2. He says, how many organizations did I pinpoint? And it was 2. Remember, 2 mainly, and 1 with a bit of a leak of communication on the whereabouts. Can you remember the 2? Okay, so I'm going to leave this here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you tuned in. Remember, wherever you are, whoever you support, we don't want this happening to whoever gets elected. One party, one side is going to be very angry, misheard. I've been through this in my previous reads a while ago. Again, if you go back, you'll find a lot of stuff I mentioned is planning out, is going to feel misheard, their vote not taken into account. There's going to be suppressed anger. There's going to be a feeling of helplessness, feeling of hopelessness as well, and it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. If there is that side that's feeling like that, as a collective, you can't feel good energy. All right. So I hope you enjoyed this. As I always ask, if you do enjoy it, please do support the channel in the ways you can support the channel. I am having difficulty with the channel, and I have reported this, and I've discussed it in a couple of videos very lightly. I mean, if your data analytics cannot suggest what other viewers are watching for over 9 months now, then how can the platform promote my videos or channel to what people enjoy that you watch similar stuff, which shows, and prior to that it would show me what impressions it was linked to, and it was linked to some Asian countries, Asian language, some fluffy asthma. So there's a challenge there, and all I can do is hope it gets resolved, because I'm not sure the support is coming through, as well as other stuff that I have reported. So needless to say, hopefully I'll be heard some stage, or it just gets fixed on its own. Take care and stay blessed, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.